Hello everyone, welcome to the Boston Breakroom, episode 21, covering Rizzoli Isles, season 5, episode 5.
The best laid plans. This week's episode opens with this woman who is from an aristocratic family.
Thank you.
Being murdered. Her name is Chelsea. They go to this house, and Mara is asked by the governor to sign off on this death because they think she died from cancer. But Mara goes there and she finds out that the woman did not die from cancer, that it's a suspicious death. Ironically, Jane is with her. Mara's like, I'm not signing off on this, I'm doing an autopsy.
I was like, but you have to do it, I'm calling the governor. And the doctor that was there that had written up the papers, and she was like, what? No, I'm the medical examiner.
Jane made a snarky remark like, maybe you should call the medical examiner. And she's
like,
oh wait, you are. They do the autopsy, and the woman, Polly, who has worked for this woman, Chelsea, who has died for like 20 years, confesses to the murder because she had, I guess, spoken to this woman about her dying from like an overdose of morphine. Polly thought that she was the one that actually killed her, but it turns out it was this guy who worked for them, but was also a part of the family. He was like their chauffeur.
I forget, he did little odd jobs around the house.
But I think he was primarily their chauffeur. This guy finally confesses to the fact that he killed this woman, and he's arrested. And
he was a result of the dad cheating
having
on her,
an affair,
which she wasn't very fond of, and didn't want him to have any access to, like, even the dad didn't know that he existed. And then the dad died, and then he just kept working for him.
Personal front, Jane's still pregnant, and Mara has agreed to teach this class. What was she teaching a class in? They mentioned statistics and
something that she's good at.
She's good at everything because she's Mara. But she's teaching this class, and she meets this guy who's also a professor at BCU, and she likes him. And
he's really adorable.
He was kind of cute.
He's so cute.
Mara wants to, I guess, date this guy, but she's afraid to date this guy because all the guys in the past have been like crazy or serial killers. And
I like how she listed the ways. She was like, well, the first one, like to lick my face, and the second one, she just went through them.
She went through the entire list.
Like, well, I can see how you wouldn't want to date anyone.
Yeah. And Jane, her mother, is still being Angela, and Jane wants to reschedule her doctor's appointment. They find out that there's like a charge for it if you cancel it before 24 hours, so Angela goes anyway to the appointment without Jane, and
which was kind of bizarre.
It's so weird. Like even for her, it was weird. Like,
first, why did they take her back there? Like, why did the doctor say, yeah, okay, you can come back? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. That's doctor-patient confidentiality.
But I don't think he was telling anything her on like the personal front. I think she was just being Angela and asking questions about pregnancy and what Jane should be doing, which she could have just been like,
hey,
inquisitive.
Mara. It was still very odd that she did that. So really, it's Angela's first grandchild that she gets to see the progress of it. Like when what's her name was
Lydia.
When Lydia was knocked up,
she was already like 7 months pregnant.
Right when she found out, they thought it was her the dad's baby anyway. So I can understand why she wants to take such an interest in this child, because it's also her daughter, and they all live together.
Like her oldest child, and she's pregnant. And
there was also a bit about the Frost's chair. That was their dramatic thing of the episode. Like,
they don't want anyone sitting in Frost's chair. But at the same time, they want someone to constantly, like, to sit in his chair every once in a while, just so it doesn't feel so empty. I was like, Frankie doesn't have a desk, but I know they don't want to completely fill Frost's desk, but I don't know.
They're gonna have to sooner or later.
Going to sooner or later, but it's still really soon since he died.
People don't have desks, and they need them. And I want to get every one of those people a desk. I want to do that for them. I'm going to start a fundraiser, a beef and a beer. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for those.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it for those fictional Boston homicide cops. I'm going to do it.
Likes.
I liked how she listed the things. I liked that. How she listed the boyfriends. One after another.
That was really funny.
And then they were like, oh, well, yeah, I could see how. I liked Angela giving her list of people to not go
fanny
after.
Packs. Don't go after people with fanny packs or people who wear black socks with sandals.
Or that have cell phone holsters. There's three things.
And Jane's like, those
stay
should just
away.
be rules for life. Because she was saying that when you're pregnant, want to have
Gets
sex all the
super
time.
horny. I love the guy who played Mara's love interest this episode. He used to be on Dollhouse, which only lasted about 2 seasons, but it was a very interesting concept and a very interesting show. If you ever have the option to see it, do it immediately. He was very cute and very sweet, and I really liked them two together, and I know he's not going to last, but I enjoyed them.
Who doesn't love the sarcasm and the jokes that go on between Mara and Jane? Jane making all of the Downton Abbey jokes.
I want to know how much they paid to PBS to allow, and BBC to allow them to air Downton Abbey. Or talk about Downton Abbey, rather. Forgot my monocle in the car.
Remind me of somebody I know. Her. And just being outrageous about it.
You guys don't understand. Like, we love this show mostly because they are us. We are Jane and Mara.
Yes.
In more ways than one, and we won't go into explaining that, but oh holy shit, are we like Jane and Mara. Except she's not into dead bodies that much. That's a lie. She loves dead bodies.
I love dead bodies. When she was doing that experiment with the heart, I was like, that's so cool. And you're like, no, it's not.
I don't like how they had her overly explaining things. Like, when she would say something, then she would go into explaining it right away, like they did the first couple episodes. But this episode, she was saying things and then showing her how.
I just
why
like
it
how
was a fact.
she was like starting to explain something. Jane was like, no. She started explaining again. She goes, no. And then finally, Mara said it in terms that Jane could understand. She goes, "There's my girl."
No,
hell no,
hell no. There was a but I liked that there was a very equal amount of comedy and drama. The drama with Frost Desk.
The Downton Abbey stuff.
That's kind of, and then the comedy had everything else.
Yeah, dislikes.
There wasn't many. I honestly can't think of one dislike.
Does that mean there was an adequate amount of Angela Rizzoli in this week's episode?
There was an adequate amount of Angela Rizzoli this episode.
Jeebus!
I didn't like that she went to the thing. I mean, that was
kind of weird.
And
but...
I think it wasn't so much weird that she went to the doctor's office. It was more weird that they took her in for the appointment. Like, so it was not even Angela, it was the
I'm
doctor.
here for my daughter to get information.
Right, she could have said, hey, could you just give me some information? My daughter can't make it.
It doesn't cost that much to reschedule an appointment.
Yes, it does sometimes.
Ratings. I'll give it a 9.
A 9, 9.5. Yeah, I really liked it. Well, ever so slightly short of a 10. And there was just something missing. But, like, not in a bad way.
I mean, the case was a little... Yeah, like back and forth, odd.
Interesting. Like, not bad, odd.
No.
Like, it was very interesting.
It was interesting.
But so in-depth, I think.
It was very in-depth.
As you're watching
it was just missing a little something extra.
Yeah, I also feel like it was a little slow. Maybe that's what it is. It was just...
I think it was slow-paced just because the case was so, like...
Massive,
and...
They had to fit in
personal all over that. It's not even the personal front. It was just a case.
But it wasn't even a bad case though. It seemed slow.
Predictions.
We did see the permit. I don't remember them though.
I don't either.
I think Mara's gonna be a teacher again next.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right, Susie.
Susie.
We get lots of Susie next episode.
Yeah.
We love her so
It's a Susie episode, and Mara, I don't know where Mara is. Maybe she's at a conference. Maybe she's teaching that class still. Maybe she's scuba diving in the
Pacific.
We
don't know. She's not there, so Jane has to deal with Susie and Mara on like Skype or whatever. Cool. I love Susie though, so I'm really glad we get Susie next episode.
I enjoy Susie. She's funny. She's really come into her own person on the show.
And
before she was kind of like this awkward little like...
But I appreciate her now because with Frost not being there, it seems very empty. Like, you didn't have many characters to begin with. And then you're taking Frost out of it, who was a huge thing.
Yeah, you don't realize how much of a part he had in the show until now.
He's just not there. And they need someone else to go in, but you don't want to fill that role.
So they're using her a lot.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. The question of the week last week was...
Do you think Angela Rizzoli is a helicopter mother?
We had one response that didn't answer.
She said, I don't think Angela is being a helicopter parent. But I think she does it because Frankie and Jane do not tell her anything.
And that person who said that...
And they also asked, why did we change the name of our show?
Oh, well, one second. The person who said that was Lemon48. You go, girl. You were on the list. There are now 2 people who are possibly getting a prize from the show. If you don't add to it, we can't give you anything. But you're in the pile. And the answer to that, why we changed the show's name, was because... it was ridiculously long.
Yeah, I actually answered that question.
You did answer it.
I did.
Other people might be wondering.
I
too.
said because the detective and the doctor was ridiculously long, and we thought a shorter name would be better.
Yeah, it was a really, really long title.
Yeah, and we thought it was might have gotten confused with other like review shows or type things that were on YouTube.
Or crossovers of two shows that are outrageously popular and on the BBC. I'm not going into details, but I have watched them both on Netflix.
Yes.
We were actually thinking of doing it in the middle of last season, but we thought that'd be probably a bad idea.
Really confusing.
Yeah. So that's why we did it.
For our 3 viewers.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks! Do you think that they should leave Frost's desk empty, or do you think they should fill that void?
Do you think that's why they're having a hard time with it, because there's nobody there? Or do you think if they just got an entirely new desk, maybe it'll help? Whatever. Something with Frost's
Maybe
desk.
if they just completely remove the desk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they brought in a new desk and put it there, maybe it would be a lot easier.
We're all just move the desk. Answer a very confusing question.
You'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out too. Next week we have episode 6 of season 5 of Rizzoli Isles, titled Diorama.
What if it has something to do with the college again, though?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Kind of excited.
It'd be really sad if Mara's completely absent the entire episode.
Like, I love Susie and everyone, but I also like having Mara there. It was only... Yep.
Good job.